Hi folks, so last week we talked about saddest EU deaths. Now I want to talk about epic EU deaths. EU deaths that had you go, oh, you know, it was just awe-inspiring. It's not that you were really that sad, but you're like, whoa, what a way to go. Now these could be some people's sad deaths, and I'm pretty sure if I check the comments again, I'd see some of these on here. And again, very subjective here. Anyone can disagree, and I'm sure there will be some people who will definitely disagree with me, but this is just from my point of view, the ones that I thought were pretty sad, or pretty epic, I should say, or awe-inspiring. I don't know the exact word for this. But anyway, my number 5 is going to shock a few people here, but Gan Taurus from the Jedi Academy trilogy. Of course, Exar Kun tricks him, burns his body alive with rage. He's a smoking husk, and it's the first real impact that Luke knows something is deadly wrong in his academy. And as they open the door, there's this charred remains just there's like Gan Taurus is screaming, and it's just a horrifying sight. Luke leans against the doorway because he's just like hit with this. It's just awful scene, and then trembling kind of turns to his students and goes, "Beware the dark side." Whoa, that's really creepy stuff, man. And I remember reading that going, whoa. I mean, you knew things weren't going to end up well for Gan Taurus, but to have that little scene unfold in the academy, which has really been doing so-so, you know, nothing too gritty has gone on so far. That was the first horrific thing ever to happen to Luke's newly formed academy, and it was pretty horrific, at least in my opinion. My number 4 is Admiral Paleon. He died way later on in the Legacy of the Force series by Tahiri. Paleon, you know he's going to die the moment he finds Tahiri in his room, and he knows he's going to die too. Paleon's 90 whatever by now, but he's not whimpering, he's not upset. He understands what's going on here. He doesn't agree with it, and he's going to chastise it. He knows there's nothing he can do. At this point, he has basically exceeded Thrawn. You know, he's just wiser, smarter than Thrawn ever was. In my opinion, I think he was. And so he knew there was no escape from this. This was going to happen. This was you know, how things were going to play out. And he accepted it. And of course, died with dignity, with the utmost dignity. But that to me was awe-inspiring. I was like, wow. What a day. Because I can't see where you're reading that chapter and you think, how does Paleon get out of this? I don't think anyone read the chapter like that. I don't know, maybe I could be wrong. But I knew, just like Paleon knew, he was going to die. This was his moment. And he stood up, took it like a man, gave Tahiri some sound advice, and then died. Epic in my opinion. Now, my number 3 is probably going to be everyone's number 1, but it is Anakin Solo, obviously in Star by Star. What he did was really awesome. Him glowing, you know, becoming one with the Force as he's slowly, you know, losing his life to save the rest of the Jedi. That's wonderful. And that is epic. And the whole time you're watching, you'll say, whoa. But I think it was that glow, you know, that he was just becoming in tune, one with the Force and going. A lot of people were upset. They didn't want Anakin to die. But I just thought that his death was very well written. I really thought it was a good death. I don't think it was a cheap death or something people should be mad at. I mean, people were mad that he died. But how he died, there's no shame in that. You know, that I really think it was a very impactful death, and to me, one of the top 5 epic deaths around. My number 2 also comes from New Jedi Order. Of course, Ganner at the gates, right? That is another one, but he is defending, you know, he's just knocking down one Vong after the next, after the next, after the next. Now, a lot of people put Anakin over that, say, man, well, Anakin wasn't chopping through, you know, plants. True, but just how Ganner just inspired the Vong. The Vong were like, whoa, who are these Jedi? The shame ones start worshiping them. It was very impactful. But that Ganner just, you know, was just fighting tirelessly like Gandalf. You know, everyone made that comparison back in the day with Lord of the Rings, how he stood his ground against the Balrog. But here comes Ganner just, you know, on piles. I love that picture. There's piles of dead Vong, and he's just chopping away. And it just showed the Vong like, wow, they respect warriors, right? So he was respected not only with the Jedi, but in the Vaughn culture, his name became legendary. And Ganner at the gates is just a big moment that everyone remembers. Whoever reads the New Jedi Order, that's got to be, I would think, one of your top 5 moments of New Jedi Order. I really do, because I think it was just so impactful. But you talk about epic deaths. I mean, you know, if he was a Viking, they'd say, you know, he got into Valhalla, you know. They renamed Valhalla after him, after that epic death. But I really thought that was really well done. And of course, now that I see this, my top 3 are from New Jedi Order. Of course they are, because New Jedi Order had a lot of death. The number 1, I think by far, that like I said, I can see this like a movie, Fila. Fila, who you hate, he's a snake in the grass, you have never liked him, ever. In the entire series, you've never liked him. Even in New Jedi Order, he is just being such, you know, an annoying, I can't think of a nice word to say, but he's being annoying. And so you don't like him. And you were happy with him dying any time before. You'd be happy if he ended up dead. You know, I hope someone kills him. You know, even if it's Leia with a blaster, someone killed this guy. But the way he ended up, he assumed responsibility. He knew it was his failures, his fault. He's sitting there with that thermal detonator under his desk, asking for the person in charge. They said, I'm as high up as you're going to get. He went, all right, that'll do, and let the thermal detonator go, and took as many out as he could before he went out. He had a chance to run too, and he didn't. And man, that to me is the essence of an epic death. I really thought, and I remember just thinking about I had to, every time I was reading New Jedi Order, when a death like that happens, you had to put down the book, or I had to put down the book a minute and go, whoa. Because then you kind of like, well, all the awful things he's done, all the scheming and whatnot he's done, undermining Leia and everyone else. And it seems like that one act made up for everything. So to me, it did. It was just such a beautiful self-sacrifice, a self-own. He was assuming ownership. Yeah, this is all my fault. Everything's, you know, we've lost Coruscant. It's because of me. You know, his pride, his selfishness got the best of him, and he was going to make right with what he could in his last few moments in the galaxy. And I just thought that was just such an epic, epic death. But you know what? That's just me. What are your top 5 epic deaths in the expanded universe? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you next time.